Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Adventures of FoxFoil. Today, we are starting off in the garden that we built around our mob farm last time, and today, I have a massive project that I want to do. And if we're being honest, massive projects are sort of the theme for this area. As I was working on the last episode, one of the things that I realized I needed to do was work on the storage room that I have in this area, because this storage room was never meant to be a permanent storage room. In fact, it was never supposed to last this long. I only ever started putting the chest down here when I was digging out the area for the bamboo farm, and that was many months ago. So I think that what we need to do today is to create a proper storage room that can hold many items and be a lot easier to navigate. Plus, getting in and out of this one is a lot of work. And I mean, it is very much just a hole in the ground. We do still have this storage space and I really like it, but it's not over by where we're doing most of the building now, and I'm constantly having to fly back and forth between them. And it'd just be easier if we had a storage room that was closer to where we do all of our work. For this build, we are going to need a lot of different types of resources, and one of the ones that we need the most of is deep slate. In total, I'll need a little over 10 shulker boxes worth of deep slate, and right now I have just over 6. So I need to go out and collect about 4 shulker boxes worth in order to be able to do the build. What are you doing over here? Let's go. I ended up collecting 9 shulker boxes worth of deep slate, which will be just enough for this build and probably a little bit more. The next item that we are going to collect is terracotta, because we are going to need a bunch of cyan terracotta for this build. What are you doing down here? That's not good at all. We are also going to need to do a few villager trades, and not only will we be able to get the resources that we need, we will also be able to repair up our tools and equipment. I'm hoping that over in the bartering area, we have some black stone, and it is not looking good. Ooh, oh, there we are. That's much better. Okay, we're going to get some of that. It looks like things are getting a little low over here, and I think that means I need to do an AFK session pretty soon just to make sure I have enough resources ready the next time I need it. The question that I have is whether you can pick up glow lichen using a silk touch hoe, and no. Probably need to use shears. Excuse me. Test number 2, yes, it is shears. Well, there's nothing for it but to use a bunch of bone meal to get glow lichen. I think it's time to fire up the furnaces and get these quartz blocks smelted up so we can get some smooth quartz. And we are going to put some of these cacti in here and get them smelted up into green dye. While we're over here, I'm going to check how we're doing on bamboo blocks. And let's see, we've got 3 double chests full. We're going to be using these in order to craft up all of the chests that we're going to use in the storage room, and I think that should be good. But we also need to be able to have enough to be able to fuel our furnaces, and if we come over here, it's looking like we're getting a little low because I think only these 3 stacks here have bamboo in them. So maybe we'll turn on the bamboo farm to have it running while we get our work done. I've finished collecting up all of the resources and we are finally ready to get started with the project. I've placed markers at the corners of the build that we are going to be doing today so you can get a sense of the size of the build, and we are going to be doing this build in 2 stages. The first stage is going to involve digging out the base where we are going to put all of the chests and the storage room. And then the second part will be the building that's going to go on top of everything. Since we are going to have to do a fair amount of digging, it would make sense to set up a beacon so that it will go much faster. Now that we have the site prepared, it's time to start laying out what we are going to be putting into this area. The next thing that I want to do is outline where some smaller support pillars are going to go, and I've already started placing them here these are going to go throughout the rest of the room. I've been experimenting with adding in even more in this corner, and I think it's just a little bit too much. It would just fill in the space and make it really hard to move around in. So I don't think we're going to do that, but we are going to keep it with these ones that are going to be in between the main support pillars. For the floor, what we are going to use are polished deep slate blocks to go around as a border. On the inside, we're going to place these polished blackstone stairs, and then we're going to put some deep slate bricks right here as well. And then in this interior area, we're going to use all polished deep slate bricks. But out here, we are going to use spruce logs, and we're going to place them in alternating patterns, just like this. And then we're going to strip it. For the wall, we are going to start off with some cyan terracotta. Then we are going to place some nether brick walls. Then we're going to put on some more cyan terracotta, going up about 2 more blocks. Actually, we're going to do a total of 3 on top of there. And then to add some light that's going to be hidden, we're going to place some of these glowstones in behind the walls. And what that will do is the light will come through the walls, but we won't actually see them. The main pillars are going to be made out of blackstone, so we're going to do an alternating pattern of blackstone, blackstone bricks, and polished blackstone going all the way up. Having all of the blackstone is a little intense, so we're going to mix it up with some deep slate bricks, which we are going to run up in a pillar just like that. We're going to do the same here in the center and over here as well. Along the top, we're going to place in a row of deep slate bricks as well. And then finally, we're going to drop down and put some stairs in here. The last step will be to replace the brick at this level with nether brick walls, and then we'll put those in there, and we'll have these individual bays where we'll put all of our chests. Now that we have all of the deep slate support pieces in, we need to get the middle areas filled in. And for that, we are going to use some dark oak, which we're going to place in the corners in this stair-step fashion here. I'm going to put a block there if I can place it correctly. And then on these individual sides, we're going to place some dark oak stairs upside down, just like that. We're going to put another block of deep slate there for a moment, and then we're going to put some spruce slabs here. We're going to go over and do the same thing on this side as well. And if we drop down, we can see what the effect of that will be, and I think that's going to turn out very well. So now we just got to get the rest of the spots filled in. The ceiling in, there is just one more part that we need to add to this room, and that is actually all of the storage, because what would be a storage room without any place to put items? I've added in all of the chests, and in total there are 528 chests in this storage room, which should be enough to hold all of the items that I could ever possibly collect in this world. With the storage room completed, there's one more thing that we are going to be building, and that is the structure that is going to go up and over where we have put our storage room and is going to mark where it's located at. So let's go ahead and get started. hard to find the right angle in which to get the full view of this build, but I think this is probably the best. Up close, you can see just how tall this build is, and it's very tall. You might notice that this area has a lot of open space right now, and that's intentional because I have a couple of ideas of what I want to do with this space that will make it a little bit more interesting to look at, like adding in fountains or plants or trees, and it will be something that is more of a long-term part of the project. But the main part of this project, which we completed earlier, is the storage room, and I put in this staircase, which will take us down into the area where all of the chests are located, and we will be able to access everything that we have stored down here, which right now has nothing, because I haven't moved any of the items, and probably won't do that today. But there will be plenty of time to be able to move all of the items down here as we are collecting them and getting them sorted. And this place will have plenty of room to store everything that we could need to build in this area. This project turned out really well, and I am super excited to have it all finished up. But I think that's going to do it for today's episode. Next time, I think we are going to be working on a farm that is not going to be located here, and one which is very necessary for some of the future plans that I have. But until then, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until next time, see you later.